This whole thing is crazy.
It really is.
With Isaac mentioning the Ja Morant story, him getting fined $75,000 by the NBA today. It's funny, Monty, because we're sitting in for Covino and Rich, who were in for Colin Cowherd on The Herd earlier today. We encourage you to check out their podcast. Go to foxsportsradio.com. If you're maybe getting out of work thinking you're going to hear the guys, don't worry, you still can.
Yes.
You can go to Fox Sports Radio and hear the podcast. But we also want you to hang with us for the next 2 hours or so.
Why not?
Yesterday, as I was sitting where Isaac Lowenkron was sitting at the news desk, and you ended up following me last night, we were talking about the Final Four, and we're getting things ready for the Final Four. And when I was on the Doug Gottlieb show with Doug Gottlieb, I just said to Doug, this talk of Bruce Pearl and Calvin Sampson, they're not bad guys, they're not bad coaches, but they do have blemishes on their resume for NCAA infractions. And we look back and we say too many phone calls or a barbecue here, and it seems frivolous. But the point remains is if you knew the rule and you knew you weren't supposed to do it, it doesn't matter what the actual rule is, don't break it. So it's not that Calvin Sampson and Bruce Pearl are bad guys, but if you wanted to call them rule breakers, I think that would fit. And now here we are with Ja Morant, and what a week it has been. By the way, this is completely overshadowed how good Ja has been because you fired your coach. You now have a finger gun controversy that was taken to the next level last night in Miami when less than 24 hours after he was given a warning to not do the finger gun gesture, Ja Morant ends up doing it in the first quarter in a win against the Miami Heat. By the way, in a game where he hits the game-winning shot that we're not even talking about.
Right. I actually forgot about that.
Yes.
You're so right. I forgot that he hit the game winner. He didn't just do it once. He did it again. I saw it at least twice. And I just want to know why, Ja. Like, why do we do this? Because the eyes are on you for this particular reason. If another player does it, I'm sorry, it's not the same. So people are keeping an eye on you for this, and you get a warning, and 24 hours later, you said, hold my beer. Watch this.
It was, Monty, he hit the game winner, and you know what he did? He didn't do finger guns.
He didn't do
it! He didn't pretend to shoot down the entire Miami Heat bench. He didn't shoot random strays into the crowd. You know what he did? He got on his phone and called me. He called game.
Yeah.
Put a phone gesture up. That is another element of it where he knows exactly what he is doing. And I know that there's a conversation, and there was a conversation that happened earlier today in the Dan Patrick Show that said Ja Morant has been doing this all season long. Maybe he has.
And we just haven't seen it because the games aren't nationally televised.
Yeah, correct. But on the beginning of the first week of April, he was told by the NBA, all right, let's end it. It ends now. If it's gone on for the rest of the season, that's fine. If it's something where the NBA is saying, all right, they're going to be in the playoffs, this is a team that we could see on national TV a bunch, we don't necessarily want that look going on. I get it from that perspective. Maybe they should have done something with it sooner, but I'm not going to sit there and jump all over the NBA about it. I just can't believe that Ja Morant would do it and do it so quickly, Monty. Because it's in defiance.
Yes.
It's not that I forgot. He's sending a message to Adam Silver in the NBA saying, like, you could find me whatever you want. I'm not going to change my ways.
Right. And it's just awkward for Adam Silver, right? I mean, we all already think that Adam Silver kind of gets walked all over by the players. They run this league. He doesn't. Nobody is scared of him. And Ja doing this is daring him to do something beyond fining him $75,000. That's nothing. Ja doesn't care about that. And I'm just waiting. People are going to tune in to the next Grizzlies game to see if he does it again. And then they're going to say, okay, what is Adam Silver going to do here? And Adam Silver is going to be put in a position that's going to make it more. You've already been suspended. So then what's the next step? Another suspension going into the playoffs? The Grizzlies are right now, sixth spot. It's a tight race in the Western. It's a very tight race. They can move up and down in this last week. But it's like, why, Ja? Why are you doing this? In a week where I've heard Rob Parker say that Zion Williamson is a bust, I'm like, Ja, you're a bust at this point because I don't know how long your career's going to go.
That's the thing that is frustrating is because there are injuries. There are no doubt that there are injuries that you look at with Ja and you say, okay, I hope he can stay healthy, just like there is with Zion Williamson.
Of course.
Right? But I would think that Ja's had the better, like there's something there. When he comes back and he's playing for the team, when he's not suspended for his silly actions or if he's not injured, like he is he's been really good. Zion's been really good too, but I just think that there's something there. There's something more with Ja Morant. And I don't know if he wants out of Memphis, because this would be the wrong way to go about it in my mind. If you wanted to move on, if you wanted to go somewhere else, to do finger guns, Memphis is the perfect spot because maybe you're winning and we aren't always talking about you or aren't always seeing you. But if you were to do this as a Laker or as a Golden State Warrior, like last night on TNT, yeah, it's just not flying. And
flying.
It just has to be this bit of defiance. I don't know if this is also a separation of now Adam Silver and at least this particular player are separating in a way, because we've always felt that Adam Silver, the commissioner, was on the side of the players and going back. I don't know if this is a sign that maybe that's fractured, but there is just something weird with the defiance of Ja Morant to do it immediately, almost to say,
immediately,
I threaten you or I dare you. I dare you, Adam Silver and Joe Dumars and everyone in the NBA front office.
Though? What next? You've been suspended and you've been fined. And it doesn't seem like he wants out of Memphis. He seems like he loves Memphis, right? Like there's never been an indication aside from, why are you literally doing what you're not supposed to be doing? You're being told to stop doing this multiple times, and it comes off very immature, very childish, and it's just kind of like I don't know how long it's gonna fly for. How long you can let that fly for?
I think it flies longer. Because here's the deal is. I think we're in a different climate than we were a few years ago. And I think that we look at it and be like, okay, all right, what's the deal with the finger guns?
Right.
I mean, it's to suspend someone. I mean, we had a brawl less than a week ago between the Timberwolves and Pistons.
Yes, we did.
And we had a 2-game suspension for Isaiah Stewart, and everybody else got a 1-game. Mm-hmm. How are you going to ban finger guns or penalize him when the most you gave on that situation of players fighting each other is 2 games?
Well, obviously, but there's a history of him being on Instagram Live with it's not as black and white. It's like there's a history here.
I get it.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody else could do the finger pointing, the gesture. It's not going to hold the same weight if he does it. And it's like there's no way he doesn't know that. That's how it's like you're being so defiant, so childish, but it's like there's a lot of, this is your career and there's so much money and you could have years at this. And to risk it, I don't get it. To risk your career being cut short over what? Being funny? Over being defiant? Over a couple of people telling you you didn't do anything? I don't get it. You could be doing this for the next 10 years. But if you keep this up, I don't see that happening. And then you're going to be a footnote when it comes to, this draft class. Like, we're going to be talking still about Zion's injuries and Tyler Hero with Miami Heat instead of you.
I think I get where you're coming from. Where, okay, the fine didn't work. You're going to do finger guns again. Now we're going to suspend you. Do finger guns again. We're going to suspend you even more. And I don't think that the NBA wants to do that.
I don't think so either.
And I don't think that they will do that. And there's going to be, at some point, some argument with the union. But it goes back to the fact of how childish is this? Where, to your point, why are you risking all of this to be able to pretend to shoot finger guns?
And
this is, by the way, the Guinness Book of World Records world record for most time finger guns is said in a 12-minute span. I felt like I've said it 19 times, Monty.
We have. We're not done either.
But how think about this. Ja Morant unavailable for games 1 through 4
because of gun pointing.
Because of his finger guns.
Yes.
It sounds absurd. It sounds ridiculous. And I think that's what Ja's playing off of like, all right, I dare you. I dare you. I dare you, the
Absolutely.
NBA in trying to suspend me for this. What I just don't understand is because it's like I tell my 3-year-old son, it's pick up your toys. Pick up your toys. Pick up your toys. Why are there 5 more toys out than there were 5 minutes ago? Pick up your toys. You have to go to bed. Pick up your toys. I don't want more and immediately just in my face, blatantly pulling them out of the toy chest. He's basically finger gunning me, shooting me down in my discipline. And that's what I feel that Ja Morant is doing. I don't want to compare him to a 3-year-old, but it is immature actions.
Immature actions.
And that's where, and that's the part that I just can't get off of it's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's a big fine. It's the whole deal. But at what point are you just like, all right, I got to grow up a little bit. I'm 25 years old. I've been in the league long enough. I've got a huge contract. I'm a young star. This is going to hurt me more than it's going to help me.
And at one point, Ja Morant really had the opportunity to possibly be the next face of the league. He really did. He had explosive skill out on the court, even though, remember that one time he was like, I'm not going to dunk anymore because of injury. Everybody got real sad. Like, he had the potential to actually be one of the faces of the NBA. And I feel like his career has not taken a step back, but is being like held back because of all of these actions and the timing of it. It's just you get a warning and then the next opportunity you do it again. Yes, it is like your 3-year-old son.
It's absurd. I would have to imagine if I'm a police officer and I pull someone over for speeding, and then
you give them the ticket.
Yeah, I give them a ticket. They leave. I file the ticket, and then 2 miles later, another cop has pulled them over. Like you would be the same. It's the same thing of like, what are you doing? How do you not get the message now? Unless that person is, I dare to get 2 tickets from the same department.
Let's see if I can do it in 1 hour.
But man, it sure feels like it's a game for Ja Morant. At some point, it's not going to be funny, but I just don't think that the NBA can really do anything in this whole situation because suspending him 7 games, including playoff games, because of bang bang, it's stupid. It's silly.
You're right. The NBA can't do anything, but they have to, right? Just because they can't doesn't mean they're not going to. And I feel like that's the tough position that Adam Silver is being put in because he is daring him, but there has to be something. We can't keep going back and forth with a warning and a fine and a 1-game suspension.
No.
Like that's just a joke, and it'll make Adam Silver look even more like he has no spine.
Jason Stewart's our executive producer.
Yeah, I agree with Monty. I think that you're not really punishing him for finger guns at this point. You're punishing him for what's the word? Not misbehaving or being belligerent.
Yeah.
Or being insubordinate, I guess.
Yeah.
Insubordinate, that's
incorrigible.
It's multiple things, and now you're mocking him. It's like, so you take your Brody example. You also hear this in the airport from mothers. It's like, you do that one more time, and you're in trouble, mister.
Yes.
And then time out. And then the kid does something just brazen and cocky because he doesn't care about the deterrent.
Monty, you don't have children. Sam, you don't have children. Isaac, Jason, and I do. And you don't know the pressure of saying what Jason says in public and then having your bluff called.
Oh, I've seen it with my friends and my brother.
But you don't know the pressure of what is going through your mind of, all right, now he's making me pay up.
Yeah.
I have to either pay this off, and I'm not going to make a scene in public, but I can't just let him get away with it and walk over me and let everybody in groups, 3, 4, and 5 be laughing at me because I can't keep my son in place, and then they're wondering what's going to happen on this flight. There is so much pressure in trying to get it right. So if that's what Adam Silver and Joe Dumars are feeling right now, their Friday sucks.
Yes, and their weekend is going to suck. But it's true. I mean, I love this example of kids because I don't have it, but I see it in public when somebody does try to be stern with their kids and the kid is, smiling and smirking and they're about to do something. And you do have to stand your ground as the parent. Adam Silver, I don't see you having any other option but standing your ground as the parent. I just don't know what the next step is.
Bigger fine?
A bigger fine. No, it's got to be like, Yeah, what is it? Fine, suspension? You're going into the playoffs? What, a 1-game suspension for the first game of the playoffs? That seems like people aren't going to be happy about that.
No, not at all. And they're right now sitting there right at the borderline, right at the cusp of the play-in tournament.
Right. No, listen, it would help the Clippers.
And again, it's not the actual action, as you said, and as Jason said, and it's why I pointed out with the Calvin Sampson and Bruce Pearl examples of we look back at those things and be like, yeah, it's stupid. No, the real portion is, especially in Calvin Sampson's situation, was he was told you can't do this again. This is actually why you got fired from your old job. We're giving you a second chance at this new job, but there is no strike 2 or 3. There's a strike 1, and strike 1, you're out. And that's what happened. Mm-hmm. And he did it again. And so then you're like, well, I don't have any empathy or sympathy for you.
Exactly.
Because you knew the rules and you knew what was going on, but you still chose to do it. And that's where Ja Morant comes. I don't know who he's doing it for.
Right.
Like, who is like, I didn't really care about the Grizzlies. And then he started pretend shooting that gun. Like, after he, like what? Like, I don't understand it.
And also, the Grizzlies, as a Clipper fan, there were years where the Grizzlies were our main competition, and they were tough. Zach Randolph, they were a tough
Tony Allen,
a tough, gritty team. And so it's like the Grizzlies don't need you to pretend to be a tough guy. The Grizzlies have a history of real tough guys.
Grind City. Yeah, it's their name. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't need to do this. It makes no sense.
It feels like it's a small group of people, maybe including his father, that he's trying to impress. Look, I'm going to stand my ground. It's kind of like when I hear those people with their mufflers off, going down the highway, and I'm like, who's being served by this? There's a small group of his buddies that are like, dude, that's super cool.
Rattle those pipes.
Yeah.
And that's the only people he's trying to impress right now is that small group.
Which is sad because what was the advice when this first came out? It's like, hey, that close group of people you have, the second video that came out with him with the gun again, it was like, separate yourself from these people. Because if my best friend was a professional athlete, let me tell you what the first thing I'm going to do is tackle him when he starts doing the gestures with his fingers. I'm going to be like, bro, stop it. Stop it. You have too much to gain and so much to lose. Stop.
It's funny because the Gilbert Arenas, Javaris Crittenden, Washington Wizards situation over a decade ago, and I've talked to players who were on that Wizards team, and to a man, they said, I don't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about this because it then brings everything up for everyone else. Brings it up for Gilbert, and I know Javaris Crittenden has been through other stuff, but everybody that was involved, everybody has got to talk about it again. And they weren't even the ones directly involved in all of this. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Ja Morant in the gun video. We have the gun situation with the teenager. We've got his friend.
I forgot about that one.
At the basketball game.
Yes, at the game.
You've got the laser pointer at the Pacers.
With his people on the car. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, strike 9.
It's like a cat life. Cat lives.
Oh, my goodness.
How many does he have left? But I just don't think he has many.
I don't think that the NBA, had, no pun intended, but they don't really have many weapons to fight with. They don't. I don't know. He should just finger gun him back. I don't know.